Some say he's a technical whiz. Some say he was born in Cornwall. While some say that he's on a journey. It's The Journey. And here's your host, David Hackett.
Hi everyone, another journey. Today we're joining the founder of Echez, that's how I pronounce it, Echez, a media agency which provides social media branding and lead generation services. She's also the host of her Echez podcast, which I'll put the link in the description below, which is a podcast that focuses on personal and business growth. And she invites business owners, entrepreneurs, and business leaders to share their growth journeys and strategies. She believes in growth and development for everyone, and that motivates everything that she does. Welcome to The Journey.
Thank you so much, David. It's a pleasure being here with you.
So, as I always say to my guests, where does your journey begin?
Okay, it's, of course, for all of us, our journey began the day we were born. But from mine, or should I say the part that actually stood out for me and where I'm going to begin my discussion with you, I will say it started in the year 2019, in the early months of the year 2019, when I had left school. I had finished a compulsory 1-year national service in my country, and I was just figuring out what I wanted to do with my life. And it all started from trying to understand who I am, what exactly my passions and my interests are, trying to understand the type of impact I want to make in the world, people around me, how I want to impact their lives or influence their lives. So I would say it all started from that period, the early months around May 2019. That was where it all started for me.
Yes, so you believe in motivation as well as I do, because you said about personal journeys as well. And do you believe that everyone's got a unique journey in life?
Absolutely. We are all different. Our stories are different. Our journeys in life different. Our what drives us, what motivates us, it's different. Our passions, our interests, the mark we want to make in this world is different. I mean, you can have two persons that have the same belief. Like I said, I believe in growth and development for everyone. There could be someone out there too who believes in the same thing, but you realize that maybe the way we go about it is different. The methods, the strategies we are using to actually fulfill our mission here on earth is different. So I believe everybody's journey is different.
And how do you think your journey's been since 2019? Because that's when you said that's the earliest memory you remember.
Okay, since 2019, I will not lie, it has not been the smoothest. It I've had, will I say, more low moments than the high moments, especially since I was trying to figure out a lot of things. In fact, I've had periods when I've been depressed. I've lost hope. I felt like there was no hope. There was no going forward. And somewhere along the line, with battling with that depression, I've been suicidal. I felt like I've come to the end of it all. So there's no need pushing it forward. So in such moments, I felt like this is the end for me. Such moments, I've had suicidal thoughts. But I'm glad that I am here today. That alone is a story, or it's a story that inspires me, and I'm sure it inspires some persons out there. I'm here now. I'm pushing through with my own business. I have amazing clients. I have my family. I have my daughter. And looking back at 2019, it was more like everything was bleak. There was no hope, there was no future. I just knew that this isn't the life I wanted. This isn't what I wanted for myself. And that process of self awareness, coming to terms with the life I had then, the life I was living then, and realizing that no, this isn't what I want for my life. It was in those moments trying to actually understand myself, understand where I was and what I wanted. It was in those moments that I fell into depression. I
Mm.
became suicidal. But then, of course, my mom, she was there for me, helping me get through it. It wasn't an easy journey, of course. There were times when those suicidal thoughts will come. Depression, of course, will creep in. If you're building a business, I mean, you're looking for job, it's frustrating. It doesn't come easy. Before I built my own business, of course, I worked for some persons. So before I found those jobs, it wasn't easy. And there were times when those thoughts of you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not going to find any job. So how are you going to survive? They will always creep in. Those thoughts of, are you sure you're doing the right thing? Are you sure you're on the right track? I mean, can't you see you've tried so many times and failed? You've applied to so many jobs, you've not gotten any. Those thoughts led me back to depression. But at every particular point in time, I kept motivating myself. I just knew somewhere at the back of my mind that this isn't the life I want, that there's something big ahead of me. Even though I couldn't place a name to what that thing was, I couldn't say, this is it. I just knew, no, I mean, this isn't where my life ends, that you are here for a purpose. I just kept telling myself that you are here for a purpose. It's going to take time for you to figure it out, but you are here for a purpose. So the question was, what then is that purpose? And I tried a lot of things. Of course, I taught in schools. I I worked as a receptionist. I worked as I was a content writer. I wrote poems. I wrote articles. I wrote blog posts, social media posts for organizations. I volunteered in countless number of places. At some point in time, I worked as an HR. I was a career coach. So I did all these things, and before gradually it started dawning on me that I love helping people.
Mm.
That was just it. This one quote I use, and I use it because it is so true for me. When you help others, you help yourself. When it dawned on me that you are here to help others, that was when a lot of things changed for me. I stopped living my life. How will I put it? I stopped living just for myself. And then I started thinking of how to make the world better for everybody that comes in contact with me, for everybody that I meet. So when I changed my mindset to that of helping others, let me use the word, there was this light. Everything wasn't so dark, so gloomy, or so hopeless for me anymore. It just became a case of do everything to help others, do everything to uplift others. And so when I started focusing on the impact I can make in someone else's life, how I can help people, grow and develop themselves, become the best version of themselves. When I started focusing on that, it was as if there was this light that was dissipating the darkness, taking away the darkness. And that was when I say it become clearer. My goal in life, my purpose in life became clearer to me. And ever since then I've been following through with it. And I would say it's been smooth, but it's been one hell of a ride. It's been interesting. It's been challenging, but it's been rewarding too.
Yeah. So, talking about depression, I don't know how the system is for you as a person, but did you find that no one listened to you when you did have the depression? Did you feel ever alone, or did you know you had the support but they didn't understand?
I think I felt more alone. The only time I felt alone and I felt people couldn't understand. And that was why I didn't reach out. So I can't exactly say I reached out and nobody cared, because I felt alone and I felt, oh, nobody would understand, nobody cares. So I didn't reach out. But the moments when I started becoming suicidal, I did reach out. And it wasn't, well, I say the help wasn't forthcoming. Most of the help, it was, like I said, my mom helped, but most of the help was me helping myself, me lifting myself off of that pit. It was a constant battle with myself. But like I said, up until this day, sometimes depression still creeps in. Sometimes when things don't go well, when I'm confused, when I don't know the next step to take, some of those ugly voices raise their head, you know. You still hear them. Oh, you're not going to get this. Why did you even venture? Why did you even try? Why did you even bother? But I wouldn't say I've perfected it, but I would say I have a way of dealing with them. I try to shift my listening or retune my mind and my mindset, my thought pattern, so I don't dwell on those negative thoughts and negative voices. So it's not easy. Yes, it's not easy, but I would say it's worth it. At least I've been I've been surviving.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're a true example of surviving, because I know people, and I know for myself, depression, when it sets in, it can set in and it will leave you doubting every single little minor detail.
Everything.
So, the podcast as a whole, do you think that's helped you personally grow in yourself by reaching out to those people, talking about their journeys and listening to where they come and where they are heading in life?
Um, it was all born out of my belief in growth and development for everyone. I believe one of the things that help us grow is, well, I say, other people. When we hear their stories, we listen to them talk about their challenges, how they were able to overcome these challenges, you know, talk about some of the strategies they use to build themselves, to build their businesses. I believe it helps us. Let's take, for instance, I listened to your cast. One of your guests is talking about how they were able to overcome depression. And let's say at that point in time, I'm battling depression. When I listen to that podcast, I'm able to pick a lot of lessons from that person's story. So the podcast focuses on growth, personal growth, business growth, and I bring in business leaders, business owners, and entrepreneurs, because I know that business owners, entrepreneurs, it's not easy. It's There's so much challenges, there's so much risk involved, and they are doing a lot of things against all odds. So it's my way of empowering other people out there who are struggling to build and develop themselves, who are struggling to build and develop their businesses. So when you listen to my podcast, people come, they use their personal experiences or maybe experiences of their clients or of their friends to drive their point home. And when you listen to it and you can relate, like I've so many persons who have given me feedback have said they listen to it and they are inspired and they are motivated and they believe, oh, whatever they are facing at that particular point in time, they can overcome it. They get one or two insights on what to do, how to go about one or two things. To me, that is success already, because it means the aim, the purpose for the podcast is being achieved.
Yeah. So, going into the future now, how do you see things are going to be for yourself, and how do you think it will be for personal growth?
Well, I believe that growth is a continuous thing. When we stop growing, we start dying. And as long as we are here, there's a whole lot ahead of us. So we just keep evolving, we keep adapting to changes, we keep learning a lot about ourselves, about our friends, about our families, about our businesses, about our environment. So personally, going to the future or talking about the future for me is continuous growth, continuous learning, continuous self-awareness and realization, continuously growing my business, continuously growing and developing myself. I believe that there is no there is no business growth without personal growth. Your business will only grow as much as you grow. So for me, it is personal growth first. I read all I need to read, listen to podcasts, network with people who are where I look forward to being. So I believe if I focus on growing myself, that things around me too will grow. So going forward, I'm focused on growing and developing myself because I'm someone who aspires for excellence. I want to be able to serve my clients and customers well. I want to be able to deliver excellently to them. So one way I know I can do that is by growing and developing myself, staying up with trends, learning more things on how to serve them well when it comes to social media branding, learning the trends, the new technologies, innovations that can help make it better and easier for my clients. Talk about lead generation, the things that make it easier for them to generate leads, qualify these leads, nurture these leads, and eventually convert them. So for me, it's growth, learning, continuous growth, continuous development.
Okay, so to conclude, what would you say to inspiring, aspiring, whatever you want to label it as, people for the future, for themselves? Because everyone likes to hear motivation. Everyone likes to hear something positive. What would you say to them?
Oh, it's the same thing I say to myself. Don't stop learning. Don't stop growing and developing yourself. The thing is, there is no limit to what we can achieve, except the limit we place on ourselves. So do not stop aiming for those heights you have in your head. Just make sure that in whatever you do, you're learning, you're growing and developing yourself.
Thank you for sharing your journey with us today. And like I said, I'll
much.
put in the link of your podcast in the description when I put in a post edit. And may your blessing carry on inspiring many people.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, David. It's been a pleasure talking with you today.
That was The Journey, hosted by Wise Words Imaging, hosted by David Hackett. Be sure to like, subscribe and listen to another journey coming soon.